So, you're talking about working with a lot of young people that kind of want that microwave success, those people that
Mhm.
coming on board to your team. So in an era where so many people seem to be bothered or jaded by the success of others, especially on social media, why do you believe in the power of practicing gratitude?
The power of practicing gratitude. I mean, if you're not grateful for what you have, then you're not going to be able to handle or even earn anything more than that.
Mm,
Like I said, small things move the needle, great things are simple. I think it's really important to understand that your journey is yours alone. Like you can be envious of other people, but you don't know the backstory. I mean, back
mhm.
in the day, I know guys who drove Mercedes with no insurance. Like you just never know what the backstory is or how that person achieved
Mhm.
what they have, right? When I was in high school, I dated a criminal or two. So I
Mhm.
know what it's like to have all the bags and all the things and be in the cars and have the lifestyle.
Mhm.
And the backstory is you don't know how things were achieved, right? So I
Yeah.
just listen, I've lived a very full life, okay? Trust me. So for me, nothing impresses me.
Right.
I don't believe in smoke and the smoke and mirror game. And I don't believe the hype. I just don't. So I want to make my money honestly. I want to, if it takes me 10, 20, 100 years, at
Right.
least I can look back and I can feel good about the path that I took and I didn't take any shortcuts.
Right. And I'm glad you said that. And I'm glad you wholeheartedly believe in that, because I was having this conversation with a friend the other day and I said, now I'm going to sound like an old guy because I was saying this younger generation, and I think it's part of our generation as well,
Yeah.
because we're really not that old at all. Um, the focus or the mantra in in our culture about getting the bag, I think is at a detriment, because what it does is just focuses on just money, not
Mhm.
creating value, not how do you actually contribute to this society, right? Just if you're
Mhm.
just focusing on money, that means you're willing to do anything for it. And I
Mhm.
get it. I know I get it.
We've
Desperate,
all been there a time or two back in the day.
100%. And desperate times call for desperate measures. When you're in that position, you got to do what you got to do. But I think if you're not in that position, then I think you are kind of shortchanging yourself, and instead of focusing on developing a skill, you're just I don't want to call people out, but there's good people who do stuff on OnlyFans or things like that. But anyways, you know,
I hear you. I hear you. But like I said, it's the long game, right? If you only do things for money, right, and not the betterment of your character, how you contribute to the world, then you're just not going to be a participant. You know, you're not going to have longevity in your career.
absolutely. So getting down to the last question, which is like really like a two-part, like most of my questions here. Throughout your amazing career, what has been the best lesson you believe you've learned from failing thus far?
To be agile,
Mm,
to get up and dust yourself off. So my father's a military man,
mhm,
and he like I would be on the soccer field. I used to play soccer at a very high level and I might fall. I mean, I could have broke my leg, my ankle, and he'd be like, "Are you dead?" No?
mhm,
Okay, get up. Like that's how I was conditioned and trained as an athlete. I was an athlete for several years. And so I grew up in a household where there was, and this could be a bad thing or a good thing, but I grew up in a household where like no crocodile tears were entertained.
mm,
Right. And so I've kind of adapted that mindset. um I've adapted that mindset in some regard when it comes to failure, right? I do
mm.
think it's very healthy, and I'm learning in therapy it's very healthy to be expressive and to give yourself that time and space to feel. But I mean, if you are working in a very fast-paced environment or industry, you don't necessarily have time. Like nobody really cares about your feelings, right?
100%.
You really have to regroup, touch base with your team, and recalculate your steps.
Awesome. And so, as a professional who makes a living helping women push through their circumstances and ultimately bounce back, what is one piece of advice you would give to the millions of people experiencing failure right now?
It's necessary. It's an
Mm,
absolute necessary part of success. I mean, in my case, so I failed grade 11, 12 English. I dropped out of school. You know, a lot of people would consider those things failures, but it actually pushed me to turn the world into my classroom. And I think I've learned the most wisest lessons from experience on the ground. So in the moment, it may seem like a failure, but in hindsight, when you're able to push past it, you will understand that those things were working for you, not to you.
Right. And it just reminds me of something I said, I think when I was in high school, I came up with this quote and it said, through adversity comes the greatest success. Cause I believe you learn more when you fail or, go through a lot more tribulations. That's just my opinion, but definitely agree with you with that. So Pollyanna, I know you're definitely out there in the media. Where can people find you if they want to get a hold of you, work with you? What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, absolutely. So pauleannareid.com, newgirlontheblock.com, which is my mentorship program, and the writer's block without the C.com for my ghostwriting services.
Awesome. Awesome. And so, guys, as I always like to say, if you want to impress people, talk about your wins, your successes, the things you've got. But if you really want to have an impact on people's lives, talk about your failures and the lessons that you've learned from those experiences. So until next time, Pollyanna and I are out. Peace and love, guys.